Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Front Row Friday Show. Okay, I got a lot of good stuff for you today, so let me cue up the deck real quick and share my screen with you. In the chat, let me know where you're coming in from. A lot of times when you comment as well in the chat, you might need to tell me your name. Your name won't always show up depending on where you're watching. I'm live streaming on lots of channels right now, so sometimes I can and sometimes I can't see your name. You may need, if you're watching on Facebook, you may need to click the link up in the heading so that I get permission or Facebook gets permission to show your name. Okay, so here we go. Make sure you guys are seeing the deck. You are. Okay, great. Wait a minute. All right, you're seeing the deck. Okay, so first thing, as always, we're going to jump into our social media updates. There were some pretty cool things that happened this week. This is not one of them, and that is just that Facebook acquired Giffy and for $400 million. Supposedly nothing's going to change. We'll still use this beloved app that we all love the way that we've been using it. And, for now, nothing's going to change with that. You've seen these. You've seen them all over the place, these messenger rooms. Put in the comments if you have tried them out. They're pretty cool. In fact, I think that I'm going to do one today, like in the afternoon. I'm going to do one maybe in the Front Row Facebook group. I did it just with a couple people, but I want to get a bunch of people in there and see what that feels like. You can have 50 people in the room, and you've noticed like the little bubbles up across. You can leave the room open if you want to, which is kind of an interesting concept. Like even when you're not in there. So like if you started one in a group, then people would be able to join whenever and chat. You would just facilitate the room by hosting the room. Now, the other good thing about this is that people don't have to be on Facebook to join one of these chats. So this is basically Zuckerberg's answer to Zoom. You can only imagine that, how he had a cow when he saw the stock go through the roof for Zoom, and he missed that whole thing. And so I'm sure he's just kicking himself. So this is his answer to that. He could have done this ages ago. So that's good. The thing that I want you to be aware of is that if you have this, because you can turn this off in your groups if you're the host of a group, but if you have that set up, you want to go into your group settings and make sure, if this is what you want, make sure that the members of your group can't just start one of these rooms anytime they want to, because that would not, I just don't think that would be a good thing for you to allow that. Okay, I'm sure you saw this. So Facebook is now introducing shops on both Facebook and Instagram. This is a pretty major thing. This is like their answer to Shopify and WooCommerce and all of those third-party apps that people use to do their e-commerce on. So it's pretty interesting. What I don't know, because I currently, and you do as well, if you go to your Facebook business page, you'll see that there is a place to set up commerce. You can set up like a shop on Facebook, which I've had for a while, but you're only supposed to use that for physical products. So I have my planner, the Front Row CEO content planner on my Facebook page where people can purchase. But whenever I've tried to connect that to Instagram, it tells me you can't do that. And then I look at why, like I don't meet the requirements, and it said, and I read all the requirements, and the only one that I don't meet is that it says your products must be primarily physical products. My products are not primarily physical products. I have one physical product, and then all the rest are digital or information products. So my question is, my guess is that this is just going to be for physical products, but it would be really cool if this applied to digital or information products. And I'll show you a few more things as to why this would be so amazing if that was the case. So this is just an example of what the shop builder currently looks like. What's neat is that they brand it really nicely. They pull in the color, your brand color, and they make it look all nice. And they make it easy. I guess they knew that to get like critical mass that they needed to make it super easy. That's always the key, right? But they're also adding this new video connection tool so that you'll be able to tag products from your Facebook shop or catalog before you go live. And then those products will be shown at the bottom of the screen, like you could see here if you look real close. And people could just tap it to purchase. That's incredible. Can you imagine being, be in the middle of launching your course and you're talking about your course and you're doing a training, and then right there is that button and people could just purchase right there? That would be so cool. Okay, they're also testing out a new option that would let you, if you're a group admin, set up specific alerts for posts that are seeing increased engagement in your community. So on this screenshot, you'll see, in addition to the keyword alerts, which are right there, and they rolled that out last year, and I forgot about this until I was reading this update. And I was like, oh yeah, keyword alerts, like that's so good. So basically you can find out when members use certain words or phrases in your group. This is very smart, you guys. Like, you got to figure out what those words or phrases are, but this is really great for your own internal market research. It's great for, being able to swoop in if that's the kind of question you want to get to right away. And then, okay, so now what they've added is right below that is engagement alerts. So you can find out when posts in your group are getting a big response. So it says when you choose to set up an alert, you can also select the specific types of engagement you want to know about. So if you want to be made aware of any posts that are getting a lot of angry responses in your group, then you can make sure you're notified, which would allow you to go in there and squash all of that nonsense right quick. We don't have that problem in our groups, so, okay. Let's see here. Facebook is looking to clarify rules about how you're allowed to use music in your content. And honestly, I don't understand what they said here, because I think the gist of all this is like, we can use it more than we used to be able to use before, as long as it's not like the predominant music. Like you're not just playing somebody else's song on a live stream and that's it. There needs to be some sort of video or graphic component to it, and it needs to be not the highlight of the show. And obviously, the longer you play the music, the more likely you are to get flagged. But it used to be, and I think so many of us are so gun shy now, that you would go live and you would forget that you had like, some hit song playing in the background, or maybe you wanted it playing in the background. And you do this great live stream, and then Facebook either takes it down or they play your live stream with no sound. And so I think enough people got burned that we were just like, well, we're just not going to use music on our live streams on Facebook. Then they introduced the Facebook music library, which has gotten a lot better. But I think, again, I think this is Facebook going, well, God, TikTok, oh my God, TikTok, because TikTok is like, one of the best things about TikTok is that phenomenal library of music that people can use. You can use any song you want, just about. They're just little blips though. And of course you can use songs in your stories, in your Instagram stories. It's like no big deal. So it's like, it's really hard to know like where they draw the line. I think the gist is that it's going to be a little better now. So if you want to start playing around with using some of your favorite music in your lives, you can do it, and maybe you won't get smacked for it. Okay. And let's see. Oh, and also they're going to add these new warning prompts. So if you look on that, it says your live video will be removed soon if you continue to broadcast music you don't have permission to use. So they're going to warn us at least before they shut it down. So that's good. Okay, Instagram, this is great news. They officially announced that you can now save the video of your Instagram live broadcast to IGTV and keep it available for viewing as long as you choose. But you just want to make sure that the replays are not going to include any likes or comments from your original live video. The number of viewers for your live video is going to restart once you share it to IGTV, and you won't be able to edit or trim it in any way before sharing it to IGTV. But still, really good news, right? What else? Instagram has launched a new guides option for profiles. Okay. Oh, I love this so much. But again, this is just going to be for select users. Who knows, down the right line, maybe we'll all have it. But basically, it's going to give these guides. Can you see on that first screen, the far left, and you could see like there's a tab that says mindful moments, and then another one beside that says taking care of yourself. And it's like, I guess it's like highlights, but better. It's a guide. And it's very like Pinterest like. So that's coming. It's probably already here for, Kim Kardashian, but keep your eye out for that. This isn't a huge announcement, but it helps me to remind you that you could do this. So, you can embed tweets on your website or anywhere where you can embed stuff like a landing page or a sales page. Sometimes they're like the best kind of testimonial, because let's say you're speaking on stage and you're encouraging people to use, which if you're speaking on stage, your hashtag and your handle needs to be on every slide. It needs to be prominent. It's very helpful. People love to tweet from conferences and so forth, and live or virtual. And so if you do that, people are going to say, wow, Chris is really rocking his content. Or rocking his content. Nobody says that. I am a goober. Chris is like killing it. Oh, this is so good. I've never met anybody as smart as Chris. Whatever. That's gold for you. So you can capture that. You can get the code from Twitter. It's just a little teeny weeny bit of code, and then you plop it into your website or a landing page, and pretty soon you can have a collection of these, and people can see like that somebody tweeted that out about you. The announcement here is that I really don't even see a difference looking at these the before and after. I guess the after over on the right is a little bit cleaner. They rounded the box. Who cares? But the importance of this, the reason I'm telling you about this is I want to remind you that you could do this. Another cool thing I was thinking would be good to do is, Twitter has excellent polls, Twitter polls. So you can tweet out to the world a question. Okay. So let's say you're putting together a presentation, and you're trying to make a case for something. More people like chocolate ice cream than vanilla. Okay. Tweet that out to the world. What do you like better, chocolate or vanilla ice cream? And then Twitter is going to respond. And then at the end of your poll, it'll show you exactly what the vote was. You could take that, embed that into your, you could also do a screenshot, but you could embed it somewhere. You could put it into your, or just embed it into your slide deck. Okay. What else? This really makes me mad. Okay. I am very upset about this. So Twitter's been making so many changes over the last year and a half. They're really on them. And most of the changes have been good, from like, they don't allow political advertising. Major props for that. Major props. I mean, Zuckerberg needed to do that a year ago, that is, celebrate Twitter for that. Okay. So I can't be too mad at them. However, these changes that they're making right now are really fundamentally changing what Twitter is. And that is, before you tweet, you're going to be able to choose who can reply. Think about that. Before you tweet, you're going to be able to choose who can reply. Everyone, people you follow, or only people you mention. What? If I can't, that is the whole point of Twitter. Okay, I know that there's trolls. I know it can be an ugly, awful place. So is the world, sometimes. I mean, I don't believe that the world is largely an ugly, dark place, but I'm just saying, like, there are ways to, block the trolls and all that kind of stuff. It's just important. This is the world's conversation table. It's the only place where you can have like these really big conversations with the whole world about what's going on right now, political discourse, important issues, every topic under the sun. But now, I don't want to talk to you, so I'm going to block you. The only people who are allowed to reply to me are people who I follow. Now they're going to put some transparency on there, so there'll be like a little gray label that says that it's clear that you've set it up. It's like right there on the far right, it says only people you mention can reply. And I think they'll be able to see that too. But they will be able to view the conversation. They'll be able to retweet with a comment. So I suppose that's, something, but, yeah. And I don't know who said that the conversation on Twitter has been stripped out. It's not the same anymore. Yeah. I'm not, that kind of bums me out. Elizabeth says, I still say rocking it, but I haven't said goober in a while. I haven't said goober in a while either. Okay. Okie dokie. What's this one? They are adding markers on tweets where replies have been restricted, which provides some. Okay, I already said that. Okay. LinkedIn came out with this 22-page guide of ways of dealing with the unique situation that we're in. And you guys, like, what I have to say about this is when you see that LinkedIn has put out a 22-page guide, or Twitter has put out a guide, or Pinterest is really good about putting out these guides, like, definitely look at them, because first of all, they have people on staff that are just dedicated content creators who also happen to be experts on that platform, right? They're paid. And so their job is to put out good content, and it is getting better and better. So like, you might know everything there is to know about working in the middle of a pandemic and how it relates to LinkedIn. But my guess is that if you go and you take a look at the guide, you're going to find something useful. So, so definitely check those out. Pinterest, every update I give you anymore about Pinterest has to do with shopping. They're just shopping. It's like morphing into the Sears catalog for 2020 and 2021. It's where you can go. This is basically just shops that are curated by influencers. So if you want to know, we'll just stick with Kim Kardashian, of course. So like, if you want to know what kind of sheets she likes to sleep on, or her favorite hoodies or whatever, she's curating a list. I would imagine all those people are, and you could come over here and buy stuff that they like, because that's the world we live in. And okay, what is this? In the world of blogging, content marketing, and online entrepreneurship, sometimes one of the biggest challenges is knowing what to talk about. So I just put together this little hit list of a lot of things that you can go to just create some, just to get some ideas when you're stuck. So this is a podcast episode, but also on the podcast episode, if you don't want to listen, I basically made a whole list of everything that I talked about, right, with links underneath that episode. So you might want to check that out. And if you're on my email list, it was sent to you last week via email. If you're not subscribed to the podcast, obviously I want you to do that. Just search for Front Row Entrepreneur Podcasts, and then subscribe, and then you'll never miss an episode. And I've got 2 episodes coming up, one Tuesday and the one after that are so good. You're just like maybe my best. I'm so excited. And while you're there, please leave me a 5-star review. I did such a crappy job when I launched my podcast. I never asked for reviews. I didn't do a proper launch because of the whole Gary Vaynerchuk thing, which I'll tell you about some other time, but it was just like a rush to get it up, and I never did that. And like it's embarrassing. Maybe I have 20 reviews or something. So it would be nice if you would just leave me a review and some stars so I don't look like an idiot. Thank you. And now we're going to talk about some tools that were shared on Taco Tuesday in my free online classroom, The Front Row. If you aren't already a member, of course, head over there. It's frontrowclassroom.com. I'm trying to find the banner, but I can't find it right now. So let's get to it. So this is so cool. This is Mary shared this, and she said, not work related, but I recently discovered the Google Arts and Culture app. The coolest part is turning my pics into works of art in the style of whomever. And of course, this is Van Gogh, and learning about the artist in the process. So it really is a treasure. I forgot I had this app on my phone, but I forgot all about it. Because why? Because Google, They're terrible marketers. This is an absolute gem, the Google Arts and Culture app. If you go from your phone, you have more interactive things like where you could do cool things like this. But if you just go to the website, if you're looking for some, I don't know, it's just something new to do with your kid. If you're homeschooling your kid right now, really wonderful, wonderful things on there, tours of museums, and they've made it, it's amazing. So go check out Google Arts and Culture app. It's wonderful. It's an antidote to the Kim Kardashian junk. Okay. Flavia shared Plutio, and we both, when she shared this, I was like, oh, I forgot I have this. I love this. So because we both got it on a deal, an AppSumo deal. It's really a fantastic app for project management, especially if you work with clients, because it's really super user friendly, and you can create proposals, which will then turn into invoices, which will then turn into projects. And it's sort of like, what did she say? It's like if Trello and Asana had a baby, but I would go one step further. It's like if Trello and Asana and FreshBooks and Dubsado had a baby. It's really, really good. I don't know what it costs now, but wanted to tell you about that. I guess that was our only tool that was shared this week, surprisingly. Well, only 2 tools. Okay, let's talk about the books that were shared. We do this on Thursdays in the front row. We have a really smart group. People read in our group, okay? We love to read. Whether we're listening to a book on Audible or we're reading an actual real physical book, front row people like to read. It's part of being a front row minded kind of a person, because when you're reading, you are stepping up into the front row of life because you're learning, and you know the power of that. Okay, I'm gonna get off the soapbox. Today I'm being really soapboxy. So this is The Secrets of Power Negotiating. And it's been updated for the 21st century. So that's good. And it's by Roger Dawson. It was submitted by Mary Nunnally. And then, of course, a book a lot of people are familiar with. I listened to this one a long time ago, I guess when it first came out, however long it's been out. I wouldn't mind listening to it again. It's pretty darn good. Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And this was submitted by Barbara Trapp. And then we've got Think and Grow Rich. You know what? I have tried to, Barbara submitted this. She says she tries to read it. She said, I read Think and Grow Rich when I was first starting my business, and I think I need to read it again 3 years later. I try to reread it, Think and Grow Rich, at least once a year. I learn new things every time. I wish I could read this book. I swear to you, I've tried to read it on Audible. I have tried to read it in a real book. I just can't. It's so old. The thing is, it was like 1929. Like, he's talking about, the Rockefellers, like in now time, maybe 1931 or something, 1937. And his son is hearing impaired, or it doesn't have hearing. And he talks about basically I'm going to make this boy learn how to hear. And I just can't listen without cringing and just thinking about what all the people in the deaf community or hearing impaired community are thinking, as they, you know what I mean? I'm just cringing, but whatever. I'm sure it's a great book. I just haven't been able to read it because I can't get past that part. Okay. And maybe if I listened to an Audible version that was sort of current, but even the person reading it sounds like it's coming through a Victrola. Okay. The Checklist Manifesto. I read this one too. This is really interesting. This is by Atul Gawande. And he is a physician, I believe. And basically, it's all about how checklists protect us against failure. And, I teach that in Front Row CEO when we create our systems and stuff. It's all about a system is a checklist, and I talk about how I showed this picture of when I was at the Rice Museum, not the Field Museum, not long ago. Was that where it was? Yeah. And it showed the Apollo 13. And when they got it back down to Earth, they literally, it was a typed out checklist. This checklist got these men back to Earth safely, because a checklist, a system, is not that fancy. It's just a checklist. And he gives amazing case studies in this book about how, how many lives have been saved in the hospital system, and and how you can really use this everywhere. A checklist system. Okie dokie. I'm not familiar with this one. This is by Michael Hyatt, and this was submitted by Judy Olbrich, one of our new VIPers. And let's see, was it? Because Barbara's quote is on here, so maybe they both commented on it. Barbara said, I've been using Michael Hyatt's Full Focus Planner for 2 years now, and I love it. I read your best year ever and need to read this one too. Okay, got it. Judy submitted this. That was Barbara's comment. And it's Platform, Get Noticed in a Noisy World, a step-by-step guide for anyone with something to say or sell. Okay. And this is another book by Michael Hyatt, Your Best Year Ever, a 5-step plan for achieving your most important goals ever. And then this is a murder mystery. Oh, wait a minute. This is Dostoevsky. Okay, I was looking at the description in my notes. Okay, so here you go. A little light reading for you. And it is indeed a murder mystery, courtroom drama, and enjoy that. Wanted to mention, if you're not already a member of Front Row VIP, doors are open. This is a place that is full of content to help you grow your business. It is like anything that is related to social media, digital marketing, online tools. That's all there. There's also a lot of strategy. There's 2 coaching calls a month. We have special guest experts, and we just had this week, Ratna shared with us, like, it was an amazing training that she did all about how to use Google to grow your business. Very doable stuff. Like, you don't have to be a coder. Not showing up here is we just had last week Tom Morcus, who did an absolute unbelievably thorough training on how to host an online virtual summit, and the resources he gave us were like a course in and of themselves. Super, like, do this first, do this second, do this third. My favorite kind of content. And then we've got Miriam Schulman, who's going to be coming and talking about how to launch and grow a top charting podcast. And she is an authority on the matter. She's like number 10 on all art podcasts of all of iTunes. And she's an artist with a really successful online art business. She sells art, but she teaches other artists how to paint, and a little bit how to have an online art business. But mostly she teaches people how to paint. Okay. And then Ron Reich, one of my mentors, is going to be coming to talk about your heroic character. And I'm not going to go into what that means. I'm just going to tell you that it's really, really good. So if you want to join VIP, that's frontrowvip.com. And that's all I've got today. Do you have any questions or comments before we close out? It's really good to see you. Chris says, signing up for Front Row CEO now. Awesome, except for Front Row CEO is not open. If you can go to frontrowceo.com, however, and get on the waiting list. It will be opening soon. So I'm super thrilled to have you with us. All righty then. So I hope everybody has a really nice weekend. Be safe, be well, and whatever you do, wherever you go, you can sit wherever you want. You just want to make sure that it is in the front row, because that's the only place to be. Have a good weekend.